This episode is brought to you by Tabletop Dominion, purveyors of handmade dice and artisan gaming accessories. Why not head over to tabletopdominion.com and use the code BILLOW to enjoy 10% off your order? Who knows, maybe you will find your very own blue dice of power.
Hello and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. Happy Geek Pride Day. If you're listening to this on not Greek Pride Day, that's something different. Geek Pride Day. If you're listening to this on the day of release, also Happy Towel Day. For those of us who like to celebrate the work of the late, great Douglas Adams. Discworld fans, it's the glorious 25th of May, celebrating the People's Revolution. Slogan, truth, justice, freedom, reasonably priced love, and a hard-boiled egg. And of course, for our American listeners, it is National Tap Dance Day. That's enough of that. On we go. As always, we appreciate ratings and reviews. As always, we appreciate you emailing us at hello@billowinghilltop.com, and you can find us on all the usual socials. So let us move on with episode 143 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast, Run Pig Run. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's been a while.
Good evening. It has.
It's been a while. Hello,
Yes.
readers. Hello. Take a seat anywhere. Paul has been revived, and we have him back,
Rewired.
plugged in, rewired. We've topped up his tank.
It was the fuse. The fuse had gone.
Is that what it was in the end?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Anyway, let's get started. We've had. Should we reach into Paul's? Should we reach into Paul's capacious bag?
Do we have
I know it's been limp and empty recently, but while Paul has been in our repair facilities, it has replumbed. We've had an email from Nathan. Hello, Nathan. Thanks for emailing us. It's subject, third best my ass.
Right.
Referring obviously to the
His
fact,
arse is the
of course,
best.
World's third. No, we're the world's third best podcast. And I don't think he agrees. It's great to finally hear D&D players who are older than I am. I got the blue box with the dragon on it when I was 11, Christmas 1979. I used to go buy Dragon magazine from the local head shop. As a clue for later content coming up there, readers. From the local head shop in my teens, and it's very apparent that you have all played together for a long time.
Too long.
Your camaraderie shines through the podcast, and it's clear that you're all good friends. Nathan, seriously, Nathan, I think you've got the wrong end of the stick. I also most enjoy your beer recommendations. Fun fact, hops share a genus with another most notorious plant, colloquially referred to as the devil's lettuce.
What?
So, from the Pacific Northwest in the USA, I raise a glass of Space Dust IPA from the Elysian Brewery here in Seattle, and with a puff, I descend gladly into the grinding metagaming vortex that is the Billowing Hilltop. Please continue to give us with that stodgy banter that only you can all provide. Prost! Thanks, Nathan. I presume Nathan's listening. I don't know. That's
Probably
Have
asleep.
we got any other stuff? Have I got any other admin things that I need to do or remember?
No, let's get on with some D&D. Let's get on with some D&D.
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 We have to at some point talk about death saves.
Do we?
What?
Yeah, not now. We can do it next
Okay.
time.
Why?
Because I've been having a chat with other people about death
Maybe you
saves.
don't want
It's
to do
been quite
that.
interesting, but we'll park it because it's quite an involved thing. Right, where were we? We were in your room in
We just
the ogre's
teleported back, haven't
hideout. You just teleported back. Paul, while you've been on the bench, as it
Well,
were,
in the lab.
the horrible goop creature got killed
Oh, good.
in the cave. Do you remember the horrible goop
I do.
creature?
Horrible
Do you remember
thing.
that much? You can remember that much. Okay.
Again, yeah.
You think you know someone. I've been having a look at a couple of things. Anyway,
Oh, no.
I get to hear the tapes and
Johnny's been
stuff.
cheating again.
Me? No.
Basically, yes, apart from the fact, not Johnny, you.
I can put this down to the fact that I know nothing about how to play this character yet.
Or any character.
Okay.
It's the same with every
This is
character.
true. This
Every
is
time
true.
you run a new character, it's
Yeah,
like...
it gives a bit of time.
Oh, it's like...
But this
was
this
it one
isn't
the
done
other
for
day?
me.
I was listening to it the other day, and you wanted to knock someone over with the bow of the east wind. You just done a whole load of damage,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it knocks him over. And it's like, really? And then you read it out. It's like, okay, he makes a save. It's like very different. You always omit
Yeah.
the save.
Oh, it's a bit of a Nico thing.
That's the Nico.
It's the Nico effect, yeah.
approach.
Yeah.
I've
it's
learned from the
selective
greatest.
editing
Don't worry about
on the fly.
I've learned from the greatest.
And Nico, is there another paragraph?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're all
Hello,
guilty
Nick.
of that.
Nick's another member of the Billowing Hilltop, although I'm sure we've mentioned that before. No, Paul, what was happening was that you were claiming advantage on all of your attacks using something called Vow of Enmity.
Yeah.
But actually, reviewing the tape, at no point was Vow of Enmity triggered.
Really wasn't it?
No. It was just remarked upon as something that you'd forgot and that you should definitely use it.
This is a bonus action.
In the middle of somebody else's turn.
Yeah.
But actually, no. Also,
Oh.
the displacement doesn't work once you've been wounded.
You spotted that one, did you?
Well, we'll just have to keep an eye on these things. You think you know someone, and turns out he was at my wedding.
I was.
Can I ask, Paul?
Yeah.
Where did you get your haste from?
It's a spell.
From what though?
What do you mean from what?
Spell.
Paladin.
Oh, I haven't spotted.
You're a paladin, right?
Yeah, so I was third level spell.
Is it a paladin spell?
Yeah.
If you pick the right, what's it?
Well, that's all I'm asking.
Oh, all right then.
I'm sure I ran a paladin, didn't notice haste, but maybe I did.
Well,
Well, there
Is
used to
it
be
something
just
to do with
cleric
the oath
spells.
of what's it?
yeah. Dan, it obviously wasn't a very good paladin.
No, it wasn't.
I don't remember that paladin bond. Anyway. Yeah, slow. I mean, that was what most people used to say.
A little bit of shit.
Yeah, slow and a bit shit. There we go. Anyway, they had a bit of a search around in that cavern, Paul, and they found a zip. They cast a commune to check that there was nothing that they'd missed. There was nothing that they'd missed. And they teleported out, back into your room in the ogre's hideout, only to find that there is somebody there already. That's where we left
Going
Gagejoy.
through our stuff.
Going through your
Pilfering.
stuff is your old friend, Okaral.
Okaral.
Okaral was the head of security for Loris Rachnian, the master of games in Evenstar. I know this involves you remembering something that happened maybe as long as 6 months ago, but
Well, the joy
Yes.
thing is that Scaly's never
it
met
ring
him,
a bell
so I
at all?
don't have to remember him.
that's true. You're right. Scaly's got a big blank space.
As do I,
Like, he's
really.
been worked on by Darren Brown. I watched the Darren Brown thing the other night. Anybody else watch that?
No.
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 Oh, goodness gracious me, it's not right. The man needs to be locked up. Anyway,
What?
burn the fucking witch, is what
Dindy.
I say.
Dindy.
Right. Anyway,
Dindy,
Okaral,
dindy.
there's a desk in the corner of your room.
Mm-hmm.
You all into the chamber. He's got his back to you, but you'd know that particular kind of body language, and you'd know his leather armor, and he's leaning over the desk and he's going through it, and he's kind of muttering to himself, and he turns as you appear and just looks completely amazed. Can you all give me insight checks?
I can try. 25. 25.
Not very good at insight.
9.
Parker, there's something odd about him. His head whips round when you appear,
Yeah.
but immediately he's kind of looking at the ground again, like he's kind of embarrassed or cowed or something.
Right.
And also, he seems a little unnatural in his movements.
Is a simulacrum.
Don't know, but he looks at you, looks startled, looks down, and then he sort of looks like he's trying to decide whether or not he goes back to what he was doing or he reacts to your presence. What's the word? It's odd, it's awkward. It's like naturally you'd expect him to look maybe a bit defensive. Maybe he'd make an excuse, but instead he's not doing any of that stuff. It looks like he's sort of half drawn back to what he was doing, but half feels like he ought to acknowledge the fact that you're there.
Is he
Doesn't
under
say
some
anything.
kind of mind
Detect magic.
control?
Sounds a bit like that.
Geese.
Okay, Burple's casting a detect magic. Let's give everybody a turn. What do you want to do?
Well, I could make the room smoky
What?
so he can't see anything and then go and bash him and knock him out.
No, there's something going on here. I don't think that's...
One thing, Uncle Buggy, that if you take a couple of steps forward, like it looks like you have with your mini, into the centre of the room, even by your standards, Uncle Buggy, Okaral smells awful. And I mean awful.
You mean
Basically,
like
he
undead?
smells of stale piss. He smells like he's soiled himself. He smells like piss and sweat and unwashedness. Basically, like you. You needed to get quite close. You could
I'm
actually
clean.
Knew that one was
Highly
coming.
Pick it up.
perfumed. I am very clean, barbarian. So do you want me
Clean
to
yourself
make the
with your
room
own
smoky
tongue.
and
So a
then go
whole
and knock him
discussion
out?
last night about them renaming barbarians berserkers.
Uh-huh. Why?
Was that in the Pathfinder 2 thing?
Yeah. Oh, well, I think it won't be in the Pathfinder this iteration, but they're talking about it for future iterations.
But is barbarian licensable as a term? Anyway, let's not
I think
get,
it's the
let's not get
implication
too
of a barbarian sort of being tribal or something.
Yeah, I get that. And a berserker is a warrior that just goes completely apeshit. So, yes. Buggy,
Right, but does anybody... Do you want me to make the room smoky and then knock him out?
Okay,
No.
you can shout that. Scaly, do you want to do anything?
No.
Why do we need to make the room smoky? Can't we just do subdual damage on him? Wouldn't that just suffice?
What I'm trying to get here is you've got seconds to react. You can either stand there and discuss between yourselves, albeit quickly, what you think you should do next, or you can take, as it were, immediate, spur of the moment, instant actions. What would you like to do? Parker, Scaly, Sessions. Do you want to take an action
I will go up
now?
and do subdual damage on him.
Okay, so you're moving up to him.
I'm going to use something called Divine Sense.
Divine Sense from Scaly, what does that do?
Until the end of your next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 foot that is not behind total cover.
Instantly?
It's an action.
But you're using that as your action.
Yeah.
Fine. And then Sessions, anything? Give me a perception check, Sessions. You're standing by the
17.
door. The door has been forced. It's not been lockpicked. It's closed, but it's not shut. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And does it open in or out?
Opens into the room. It might be open by about as much as, I said, a half an inch or something like that. There's a little bit of light spilling in. You can see a little sliver of the corridor outside.
Okay, I'd like to swing the door open a little bit, poke my head out, see what's happening in the corridor, then push the door shut and lean against it.
There's a door at the end of the corridor that heads back to a kind of lobby area at the top of the stairs. And Jane Airport, who is one of the staff, is coming through that door looking concerned.
Carrying a tray. Nice.
She looks like we've heard a noise upstairs, or we've got reason to... That's your sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got reason to believe that there's something for me to come and have a look at. She's not just going about her usual business. She's clearly been drawn by something.
Okay.
If you open the door and she sees you, she sort of wordlessly communicates, is everything all right? Raised eyebrows.
In that case, I just say, Uncle Buggy. What? And shut the door.
A Scaly, there is something undead in the room. Burple.
Okay.
There is a magical aura around Okkerel.
Where were we? Oh, I can't remember. This is very meta because Scaly wasn't there, and there were these creatures that kind of pushed into you underground somewhere. Maybe it was something completely different.
Yes, but I think they was to do damage rather than to control you.
That was a while ago.
There was elementals as well.
Yeah. They forced their way into your space.
That's right.
I think it was either the elemental guardians of Ecosiel's tomb or something around there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
They were the ones who
not like that.
got fired by Lord
Not
Sugar.
like that. Yes, those are the ones. They're the really disappointing ones. Yeah, and for that reason, I'm struggling. Burple, you're picking up a strong necromantic magical
Can
aura.
Scaly pick up where this undead is?
Yeah, it's him. Well,
Right.
I'm presuming, is it directional? Oh, maybe I've given away too much. I don't really think it's exactly rocket science to put the two pieces of information together.
And there's nothing else hidden in the room that is
It
controlled.
says you can.
And this aura that's over this...
And then we're going to roll initiative.
Yeah, it says.
Now going to roll.
It says you can
We're gonna roll
sense anything affected that is not behind total cover. So it kind of. It's so.
Parker, you've got a round. Do you want to welly this Okkerel person? That's the last thing for us to kind of draw a line under before we...
You do
have an
non-lethal
initiative.
damage on him. Well, I'm just reading up
Okay, you're
non-lethal
standing right
damage
over
in
him. Can you
D&D 5e.
He sort of turns to defend himself a bit. You closing in on him, looming over him, has made him resolve to face you rather than what he was doing before.
Non-lethal damage is exactly the same as lethal damage. You just
Yeah, it makes no
decide
difference.
not
Yeah.
to be lethal.
Yeah, when he reduces
Yeah.
to 0 hit points, you can say that he's basically then knocked out.
When you loom over him and you're
Right.
that close to him, first of all, he smells awful.
Which is
And
why
you
I've
really
decided
are
not to grapple
in
him.
a sort of wet nappy sandwich as you are standing between Uncle Buggy and him.
No.
Well, that being said, seeing as we were all in this strange water pool room, we're probably all a bit brackish at the moment, to be honest.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
I
You're
suppose
all a little bit acidic. Parker, can you give me a perception check?
Perception? Oh,
Yeah, hello.
21.
Okay. Yeah, there's something
Wow,
going
we are
on
rolling.
with Okkerel as he turns to face you.
Yeah.
First of all, he's looking very blotchy. Second of all,
Like he's wormed up.
There's no worms, or at least no visible worms. Second of all, his movements are quite marionette-like. Thirdly, you can kind of sense a bit of a sort of deadness around the gaze, like a kind of sort of 1,000-yard stare, and he's not meeting your gaze or even really looking up. Fourthly, there's something going on in his cheeks. Not those cheeks, Dan. There's something going on between the base of the ear and the corner of the mouth.
Yeah.
There's something going on.
Like a hinge head.
What, like there's something in his mouth?
No, it's more like there's something going on where the skin in that part of his face, running along the jawline, basically, seems to be blistering and becoming unstable and folding in a bit.
He's full of maggots. I wouldn't hit him.
Do you want to hit him? Do you want to hit him?
I reckon he's stuffed full of worms and he's been reanimated.
Sessions, how about Spirit Guardians?
Parker, do you want to hit him?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Don't do it.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Well, we don't see any worms on him, right?
Not on him, no.
Said,
he's full of worms.
I'm definitely not going to hit him on the jaw.
Creeping Doom.
D&D's not that specific a game.
Creeping Doom.
Attack.
Just saying.
It's just a condom full of meat and mouse traps. Your hand goes in.
I'm just wondering whether to
Thinking of Men in Black 2,
attack him.
Yeah.
where the guy was
What are you talking about?
there's a bug inside him, isn't it?
Nice.
How does it? So basically, I can use my sword on him,
Like a little
and
pilot.
still do non-lethal damage.
You can draw a sword as a free action as part of movement.
We'll give him the full kibosh. Hitting armor class 14
Is a miss.
is a miss.
Is a miss.
Then hitting armor class 20,
That's a hit.
13 points of damage.
Okay, well, I mean, he's quite a resilient, hefty dude, Okaral. I mean, he's weird, but...
I'm not done yet. And
I
then
know.
he needs to make
I know. Oh yeah, here we go. This will be interesting.
Constitution saving throw DC 15. It's just the monk's stunning strike.
Yeah, I don't have to look this up, but I think I ought to.
Well, it'll say under the stats if he's immune to being stunned.
Yes, basically, I'm going to make a roll, obviously. I mean, he might make a save. I think it's unlikely. No, he fails his save. He's a bit stunned. Physically, he is discombobulated. He's brought up short, but you don't know that there is a personality to phase. Is that okay as a kind of way of explaining what's happened?
Sort of, yeah, okay. Has he got the stunned condition?
You definitely feel that your stunning power has had an effect. Physically, it's rocked back on its heels.
Okay.
But you don't get the sense that the person, Okaral, has been phased at all.
Right. Do I get advantage on
Have you got another attack? Yeah.
Armor class 24. Just check if there's no, not a critical.
Yeah, that's a hit.
7 points of damage. And then the final attack on him, hitting armor class 23. 12 points of damage, and because both of those hit, another 2d8. There's another 4 points of damage.
Yep.
Just checking whether there's one other
Surely that must be it, because...
key point I can spend while I'm doing it.
How many hits is that? Was that 4?
Yes. Okay, well anyway, that's all the stuff on him that I can do.
Okay, let's have initiative. Okay, I have a number.
Didn't Bugraff get an attack?
I
just stepped into the middle of the room
attack.
and didn't... No.
Yeah, okay.
A 5 of my initiative.
Scaly got a 15.
Parker gets a 5. Burple gets...
20.
And Sessions got...
21.
This thing is in the corner, reeling from Parker's administrations. It is
Incapacitated, can't take actions.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Something's going on, though, Parker. That blistering and collapse around the jaw is continuing. Sessions.
The room's on the left-hand side of us, the same side as... I forget what she's called.
There's a room between you and the hallway at the top of the stairs. It's a smaller room.
Yep.
And then there's a room opposite you, which you think is one of the other larger suites. There's a whole floor upstairs, which Bacrus has taken.
Right.
You remember Bacrus? And there's another kind of smaller room. So you're in a kind of group of 4 rooms, 2 larger staterooms, two smaller staterooms off this spur corridor.
And are Bacross and Vacrossus, do they sound like they're upstairs?
You can't hear any sounds
like
from
they're out.
upstairs.
Okay, but there are sounds
could be
downstairs.
Yeah, you can hear the usual kind of bustle of sound, and the windows on the other side of the room, the south side of the room from you, are the windows that overlook the street. Those shutters are 1 to 3 open, 4 to 6 closed. They are open. It's a cold, hard grey day still. You can hear the sound of quite a lot of activity from the street.
Right.
But to look out at the street itself, you probably need to be a little bit closer to the window to look down. Sounds like something's going on out there.
Is this the thing that's going on? Is that just started, or was that already going on when we teleported back?
The general noise of the tavern was there when you arrived.
Yeah.
The sound of activity outside, you've been here, Parker, for 6 seconds.
Yeah, true.
It was present when you arrived, but it seems to be, if anything, building.
In as much as one can tell that in 6 seconds.
Precisely.
I get it.
I'm going to swoop over to the window and have a quick peer outside.
Outside, there's something going on, Sessions. First of all, you've seen evidence since you've arrived in Frostanger. There's a build-up to this grand day of celebrations next, Asthma Day, Zeech's Banquet, and all of the celebrations about the 20th anniversary of Frexit. That's kicking off again. There's more than usual activity out in the street. There's a kind of carnival atmosphere. But at the moment, the street seems to be clear and people seem to be lining either side of it, and they seem to be in a state of some kind of anticipation and excitement.
Some sort of event is about to take place outside. Fine.
Right, a parade or something. Yeah, you don't know.
And then, quick question. How tall is the ceiling in our room?
Oh, I don't know. Let's say it's 8 feet.
And how tall is the ground floor?
That's quite high for a medieval, but...
Yeah.
Hey.
How high is the ground floor?
You mean how high off the ground are you?
Yeah.
Let's say that the ground floor is a little bit higher. So let's say you're 12 feet off the ground.
What are you thinking, Graham?
I'd love to know what he's thinking.
Well, I was thinking of invoking my spirit guardians, yeah? But since it's a 15-foot sphere, I don't want to massacre everyone in the bar.
Is it up to
so weird.
that distance, or is it actually that radius?
I think we've settled on the fact that it is a sphere.
Yeah, it's about 12, So,
and it's about 12 and a half feet all round you. So people standing directly below you in the room below would be playing carded.
Yeah. So I think I might not do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've zoomed over to the window. You've had a quick look outside. I don't know that you've got ages to consider.
Yeah, I'm going to move back, yeah?
Back to the doorway, back to the wall,
yeah.
The interior wall, yeah.
And I'll summon the crushing coin and just give him a bit of coin, drop it on this guy's head.
Okay, so the crushing coin appears.
I hardly ever hit with anything, so... Oh, well, I might have hit that time, 26.
Doctor positive. Yeah, that is a hit. Yeah. Combien de dommage avec le coin de... No, la pièce. Your French is better than mine, Bonds.
The pièce de what? Resistance.
Well, what's a coin? It's not a coin, that's a corner.
Money is change. Money
is change, yeah, but what's a coin?
I think it is...
I think it might be pièce.
Yes, I think you're right.
Anyway.
13.
You think that Ocaral is looking a bit beaten up as a result of your coin doing, taking the pièce. We move on to Burple on 20.
Burple is going to cast protection from evil on himself. Undead.
Okay. There's an odd howl coming out of Ocaral at the moment, everybody. On 15, Scaly, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm just getting the sense that people are a bit reluctant to engage with this thing because there's something not quite right.
It's a bit crowded in that corner of the chamber, Scaly, as you look across. There's the desk or whatever. There's Ocaral.
Is that a bed?
There's a bed. There's a bed that he's kind of wedged in behind. There's a bed that's in between him and the door. Parker is taking up the space between the two beds, and Buggy is standing next to Parker. Do you think you could get in there? You could stand on one of the beds.
Does everyone want to go well lit?
You're a paladin.
Well, firstly,
you create a paladin, a frontline fighter.
No, but hold a minute. This divine sense.
That's not what he's asking.
That's not what I'm asking. I don't mind going bashing if bashing it is not going to create something worse. This divine sense. Near it.
I don't have any alternative. I don't have any other option. I've been scouring my spells. I've got Otterlick's Irresistible Dance, but that's just temporary.
Mike, this divine sense.
Wall of Force.
It says, I know the location of any celestial fiend or undead. Is it like, I know it's one of them, or does it tell me which one it is?
I don't know.
Because that's all it says.
Read me the whole thing again.
As an action, you detect good and evil. Until the end of your next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any celestial, fiend, undead within 60 foot that is not behind total cover. So is it like you're pinging something? It's like the Tech Magic spell.
I think you've picked something up that qualifies, but
you don't know
I don't think it gives you a kind of drop-down menu.
I'm just a bit worried that this is kind of like looking like it's ridiculously easy to kill.
I think it's going to explode and spray worms everywhere.
So why would I
think it's a trap? There's a parade going down on in the street. I think this is a kind of assassinate ambush type thing.
I think it's a trap.
So why would I go and attack it? Is my next.
I think the parade is an independent thing.
Well,
it's something that's just happening.
I've got nothing.
Control it.
I've got nothing I can do to control it.
I've got Wall of Force.
So I think I'm going to cast a spell, which is Shield of Faith, and I'm going to get the hell out of there.
You're going to move?
Yep, outside the room.
Running out into the corridor?
I'm sorry, and you call yourself a paladin? A frontline
Can you
fighter?
not do something to disable
God.
this thing rather than...
I can't do anything to disable it.
Are you closing the door behind you?
Can you do banish?
No.
Free interaction.
Oh, actually, I know what I can do.
To you.
Sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
Desert
trolley. Change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Bane spell.
What's that do?
This is what Mike did to us.
So you're not casting Shield of Faith?
No, I'm not casting Shield of Faith. I'm going to cast Bane spell.
Okay.
Up to 3 creatures of your choice that you can see within range must make charisma saving throws. Whenever a target that fails this saving throw makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, the target must roll a d4 and subtract that number.
Yeah, it's the opposite of Bless. I get the general idea. He fails.
Okay.
We'll worry about that in a bit. Are you moving?
No, I'm going to stay around.
On 12, the rest of the world happens. First thing that happens is that there is a bang on the door. Jane Airport, was sounding a bit hesitant, says, "Is everything all right in there?"
Yes.
Not quite.
Yes.
Slightly pushing the door open, like trying to sort of look
not quite. There's a worm-filled zombie in here.
I'm sorry.
There's a worm-filled zombie in here. Get the hell out.
Oh my God. She sort of pushes the door open further in order to confirm what she thinks is basically crazy talk. Also on 12, the crowd noise outside swells to a bit of a crescendo, and you can hear the thrumming of hooves. But, Parker and Buggy, you're standing...
hooves.
No, hooves. You're standing a little bit too far from the window to be able to see down into the street. So you can just hear the thrumming of hooves, and the crowd noise seems to be building quite significantly.
As in galloping?
As in galloping, precisely. But not, maybe not horses.
I think this is an assassination attempt.
On 6...
I think this could be an illusion.
Okaral's head splits open.
Yeah.
Swings open like the head of a
Hinge
muppet.
head.
Yeah, like a pedal pin. And
it screams.
Parker, you're standing right next to this thing. You can see something. You don't need to make a perception check because you're looking right down the throat of it. There's something embedded running from Okaral's palate, like the soft palate in the roof of his mouth, running down the back of his throat off into the darkness. But it looks like it's something that's, as it were, connected, embedded, hosted, parasitic.
Is it a worm?
It's green, it's big, it's fleshy, and it's definitely a worm. And as the head swings open, the most awful scream issues from inside Okaral's puppet-like dancing body. And everyone has got to make a Constitution saving throw.
God.
DC.
And you really, really want to make this save?
Yeah, I would say you really, really want to make this save. This is the save that Ort dice were designed for.
Excellent. And there's some bonus being next to Paul, isn't there?
It's a DC 16 Constitution save. Yeah. If you're
DC 13 to those
10 feet.
Yeah.
So that is Sessions and Burple. Not Parker.
Oh, fuck's
Not
sake.
Bugrab.
Not Buggy, no. You're all going to make it. It's fine. Let's hope so anyway, because otherwise It's curtains.
All right, so Constitution.
There's a 3 and a 2.
For fuck's
These are all
sake.
bad starts. The 3 from...
Always.
Purple gets and 19.
Okay, 19 from Purple, who saves.
Yeah.
17 from Sessions. So we've had a 3.
25.
Yeah. And Uncle Buggy, or are you going to make some practice rolls? So here we go.
21.
It's 12.
I'm
Okay,
going to use
so
my...
Parker and Scaly have both failed.
Dice.
With an Ort dice, Parker has saved. And finally, Scaly.
Oh, no. Again.
Shortest lived character
With your-
in the history of
With your Ort dice.
Another
Yeah,
D8.
you got any?
What do you need? No, that is the Ort dice. Oh, 7, 8, 9, 10. What'd you get in the end? What's your bonus?
13.
Plus
13, isn't it?
13. That is insufficient. And Scaly O'Toole, you die.
Oh,
okay.
Excellent. What magic has he got?
Or rather, I think we should be clear. You drop dead. It may be a bit more complicated. It's D&D. It's always more complicated than that. But you drop basically dead, Scaly.
What?
this is what happened last time, so you don't lose hit points.
To death saving throws or 0 hit points or what?
Well, we'll worry about stuff like that in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we had this in the temple, didn't we? It's you don't lose hit points, you just go to 0.
Yeah.
And Okoral's body is stunned.
Yeah.
I don't think that Okoral can do anything. Not that there's much of Okoral left, to be honest.
Is there some sort of worm thing?
Yeah, it's the worm inside it.
I was slightly kind of picking my way.
Well, obviously, I relate everything I see to everybody else.
Well, they can't hear a word you're saying because he's screaming so loud. You know, but there we go.
Do we, if we save, do we take any damage at all?
No. There's an echoing cheer from outside in the street as this scream runs through the building. One quick thing, Jane Airport dies as well out in the corridor. Gone. Dead as a doornail. Just thump. And I think we should randomly... I think we're going to give people some...
Well, that's our deposit on the room gone.
Couple of saves advantage. Okay, and the other one... Okay, I'm just checking. There are other people within earshot. And we go to Parker on 5. The thrum of hooves is getting ever louder, and the sound from outside is getting ever louder.
Some connection.
So I'm going to stop doing subdual damage on Okoral and start doing actual damage on the worm, I think.
In the throat of the creature.
Yes.
You're attacking at disadvantage if you want to try and specifically target the worm.
Yeah.
I think we would rule that if you were to miss, you would do damage to Okoral. That seems to be a very sensible way of approaching it.
I think Okoral's pretty much gone, hasn't he? I mean,
physically, he's still intact.
Correctly, his head is...
And he's still standing.
Well, apart from his head.
But you don't think Okoral was ever there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I laid it on with a trowel, but...
Yeah.
So we're talking about, effectively, a vehicle and the pilot. You want to attack the pilot.
I'm just surprised at why it should be at disadvantage. I mean, effectively, the worm has cover, right?
We can rule it that way.
Why would it be disadvantage?
That's a perfectly reasonable way of doing it. I don't know what cover to give it. I'll give it +2 cover.
Armor class 11.
There's a miss.
Second attack, armor class 26.
That's a hit.
17 points of damage.
Well, you think you damaged the worm a bit, and you think you've damaged Okoral a bit.
Right, and then I will...
Your experience of these worms is like a single point of damage, 2 points of damage normally kills them. That's not happened, if that's what you were hoping for.
No. I mean, I was assuming this is slightly more robust.
Yeah, give me a perception check, in fact. Oh, okay, absolutely
20.
aced it. Yeah, this worm is embedded. You can see that its little kind of support system, little green filaments are actually embedded right into Okoral's structure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in symbiosis with it.
Yeah. It may not be as simple as it being just like a worm that's stuck on with a bit of, double-sided sticky tape.
Right, so the unarmed strikes. Armor class 20.
Is a hit.
That's another 8 points of damage. And the final attack hits armor class 20.
There's another hit.
7 points of damage, and then an additional 12 points of damage.
You feel you've very seriously damaged Okoral and the worm, and Okoral slumps to his knees.
Yeah.
Before you in a kind of stance of supplication. like Boromir leaning before the Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
And the worm itself, you think you've really chopped into it. And we move on to Buggy on 5.
Finish it off, Buggy. Come on.
Okay. We didn't rest, did we, after the last dragons?
You haven't had a long
We
rest.
had a short rest.
Tonight's beer, by the way, Paul, is Happy from Cloudwater. Very nice.
Lovely.
It's a very weedy but very delicious pale ale.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, I pushed the long rest button. I think I probably healed up on the short rest, didn't I?
You took 5 hit dice of healing in the short rest.
Yeah. I think I remember the spells.
30 odd points, I think.
Yeah, so I think I was on full.
Accidentally
clicked the spells I think I've cast, and I've basically got one more rage left.
You think
so
you know somebody.
I'm going to start raging.
Okay.
Came to my wish.
Sure you've got one more rage left? That doesn't sound right.
I've got 3 rages.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to bash it.
Yeah, what are you bashing?
21.
What are you bashing?
Well, I'll just smash the Bokkerol. I think they're the same thing.
Indiscriminately wellying into Okkerol, not Bokkerol.
21.
Is a hit. Absolutely a hit.
17 points of damage, 3 of which is radiant.
Okay. Yep.
Still alive?
What do you mean by alive? It's still there.
Bash it again. 20. Got to get another 20. That can do some severing. Right. 31 points of damage plus 14 because of the sever thing. So that's 45 points of damage.
Is that without another roll?
I think it's already doubled. No, it hasn't.
You don't have to make another roll to do the extra damage. A 20 is just the extra 14 just comes straight with the 20, does it? And then it's another 20 to lop something off? Or
yeah, it's another. I need to roll another 20. So this is the damage. 9. I'll roll another d12. 29 points of damage.
Yeah.
And now I'll see if I roll another 20.
Yes. No. Okkerol falls onto the floor, or what was left of Okkerol, twitching, jerking spasmodically, a kind of antic, crazy dance of nastiness. Horrible to see.
I'm going to move away.
Okay.
It doesn't get an attack of opportunity, presumably?
No, it doesn't. It's on the floor. It's not.
Right.
It's not in any position to be doing anything like that.
The corridor.
Yes.
Is there a window at the end of the corridor? Sorry, I can see what's going on outside.
No, there isn't. No.
Where was the window? Sorry, was it at the far end of the room?
You were standing next to a window just then when you were.
Okay.
When you were on the bed.
I will quickly move up to the window and have a look outside. Can I see anything of interest?
You can see the building opposite. You can look down into the street. You can see crowds looking in a state of great excitement. You can hear the thrumming of hooves. Without leaning out a bit.
So I'll lean out. Can I see what's coming?
Yes. Giant ice boars. From your right, coming down towards you, you can see 2 enormous ice boars, both bearing howdahs and riders.
Oh, God.
Absolutely careering down.
So it's just that guy, is it? The
way towards you. Well, they're not close enough for you to make out individuals, but you can see.
Just doing another race.
You can see the creatures. Yeah, you wouldn't need to be able to look down into the street to be able to see that when they went past. It's like looking into the top deck of a bus.
Okay, well, then with the rest of my movement, I'm moving right out into the corridor.
Okay, well, Jane's lying there dead at your feet.
I can probably move to the head of the stairs. At the end of the corridor?
There's a door at the end of the corridor that's open, and you can get into the lobby area.
Yeah, can I have a look, see what's going...
Coming up the stairs, or just by the top of the stairs, looking in a state of high agitation, is Frill Beskard, the proprietor. As he sees you emerge, he says, "Everything all right? What's going on?"
There's a worm-filled zombie in our room. It's a bit hard to explain. It's a kind of symbiotic relationship.
Okay, sessions on 21.
It's a loud wailing sound, is it? This death effect.
It's a horrible scream.
I will cast silence on a point in space, isn't it? So it's basically that corner.
Are you going to move? Are you going to do anything with the crushing coin?
Oh, well, I'll hammer the crushing coins there. I might sort of hammer
you're just randomly just
pummeling.
Kicking. Yeah. Okay, make a roll.
That's bonus action. That's when Sessions said it's most effective, killing an already dead thing. On the class 18.
18's a hit. You do more damage on the twitching body of Ok'Ral. Give me a roll.
Yeah, another 12 points of force damage.
You get the distinct sense that Ok'Ral is only moving because he's possessed by something.
Mm-hmm.
That it's almost like rigor mortis or death spasms or something.
And then I guess I've got a free interaction and then a move. So can I grab Scaly O'Toole?
Well,
and I'll
Scaly's 6'6" and you're 3'2".
This brings to mind an interesting thing, yes.
Okay, well, it's a good point.
You grab one part of Scaly and start dragging him.
Oh, just be careful which part you drag him by.
How far can I drag him?
Well, I don't think what's your maximum... No, I don't know. Maximum lift. I can't remember. Every time we look it up, it's some awful rule. We've got to look it up. It's based upon your strength modifier and something annoying.
It'll probably be too much. I look at him, realise he's very heavy. Yeah?
Yeah, he is heavy. He's wearing...
He's 250
scale armour.
Yeah, I will just move myself gently out of the room.
Wafting away on the sweepstake.
Just sort of, but the silence...
Over the dead body of Jane Airport.
I look concerned.
Okay, you can see Buggy out in the corridor. Buggy is past him. You can see Frill Beskard, the proprietor. On 20, it's Burple.
So this worm is still active, it's just the body that's not.
That's a very difficult call. What you can see from where you're standing is Parker's back, and past him, lying on the floor and under the desk, the twitching body of Ok'Ral.
And what's the radius of the silence?
20
Graham, thank you for that. 20.
Yeah.
I reckon I can get into the end of the corridor. I reckon that takes me out of it.
Yeah.
Can I move into that square and cast a spell then? Hey, can I? If that's it, if that's good enough,
stand over the dead body of Scaly if that wasn't far enough anyway. It's all, let's not worry about it too much.
I will stand over the dead body of Scaly and I will cast a haste spell
on Scaly.
No, I could do a heal.
Okay.
I could do a cure on Scaly.
Okay.
Why don't I do that? Is that sensible?
Why don't you do that?
Are you sure he's not dead?
No,
I'm
I
not
think
sure
he
he's
dropped
not
to 0, isn't it?
I'm not sure he's not dead.
Well, try it. I mean, a cure like wounds would know. So it's a low cost experiment.
Should I do that or should I do the haste spell? I'll do a cure wounds.
On Scaly.
Scaly. Yeah, sorry for the delay. Here we go. It heals this plus 4. 12.
12 points of happy.
Do I have 12 points of...
Scaly, you have 12 points of happy.
I've got 12 points of happy.
You're awake, Scaly, on 12 hit points.
Thank you very much.
And what would you like to do? You're lying in the corner. The last thing you remember was a horrible screech.
The last thing you remember is a horrible screech.
Shall I go and just whack it?
No more than one or two.
I'm just going.
There's a radio.
Just going to go and
coming from the room.
Welly it.
Some ladies too. Sorry, I zoned out there briefly, Paul.
You did, didn't you?
You're running up to...
I'm running up to the...
Okay.
He's running up to...
Running up to
it. And
okay.
I'm going to hit it.
What are you going to do?
Going to hit it.
Just sort of twitching.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Give me a perception check.
I'm class 15. Perception check is...
15's enough, yeah.
Well, I'll give you a perception check as well. 13.
Okay. We've left the realms of combat, armor classes, hit points, and all of that. This thing is just twitching antically on the floor. You're in a situation where you just literally want to chop it up.
Yes, I want to make sure it's...
It's like butchering a pig. Parker's shoved his giant prong down Ok'Ral's throat more than once.
Wow. That takes some...
graphic, that description.
The trachea is broken open, the windpipe is gone, the head is split open, the limbs are twitching manically.
But I'm going after the worm.
You can try and chop away and destroy... Is there a medicine skill? There is, isn't there?
Yes.
Yes, there is. I'm negatively
trained.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Okay. This will be fun.
You never know, you might roll a really high number.
I've rolled a 15.
Okay, that's enough. It immediately occurs to you, Scaly, that you're looking at something that has taken control of Ok'Ral but needs Ok'Ral's vocal cords
to scream
in order to make the sound.
Okay, but you've just said that the vocal cords and all the trachea have been ripped away.
Precisely. So you think that this thing is just, it's not particularly attractive to look at. You wouldn't want to take it round to a friend's house as a guest.
But it's not dangerous.
But you don't know that it's particularly dangerous. It's just sort of madly squiggling about.
I'm going to chop it to pieces.
Fine. You chop it to pieces.
Thank you very much.
You can kind of end up with the rump of a worm that's really just in little bits and little segments, maybe twitch a little, slickly covered in a kind of nasty, gelatinous, mucus-like liquid. And it's got little filaments leading out of it that kind of out of Ocoral's form.
Burn them.
Burple, you're the only person really in a position to hear anything. Buggy, maybe slightly. Giant things are thundering past your window.
Can I see them?
Yeah, you've got a line of sight to the window.
Okay.
2 boars thunder past. In the lead is Bacrus. He's going, oh, this is more like it. He's in charge of his boar. He's got Vajus with him and 3 of his goons. As they shoot past, you see Vajus.
Is this another race?
Point a finger behind their boar. There's a kind of weird ring and a kind of weird cloud of hypnotic colours. It just kind of hangs in the air behind them. Rushing into that cloud of hypnotic colours is another boar. This one is being piloted by a woman that you don't recognise. It's possible that you've seen her at the Deluxury. Maybe she was there having lunch when you were there yesterday, only 24 hours ago. She's wearing Outbound Rangers worn leather armour, and she seems to be having the time of her life. She's basically laughing hysterically. Also on that boar, there's another person that looks, maybe it's a tiefling, that seems to be helping this first person doing the steerage. There's a couple of others. All of them look like they might be in town for the party. I think that might be the best way of putting it. And then finally, on the kickstep at the back, is a woman you recognise. You think she might have been in the casino. You think that she was in the Deluxury yesterday.
Right.
She's dripping with jewellery. It's very elegant. She is also laughing like crazy. And as their boar runs into this cloud of shimmering colours, she leans round and zaps a sleet storm in front of Bacrus's boar, and it disappears into it, and you hear an awful kind of and calamitous stuff is going on, and they all just like crack up laughing, and then suddenly the boar just stops dead, seems to be completely mesmerized, and a couple of them also just look suddenly completely phased. They're just staring into these colours, and the other 2 are trying to frantically snap the boar out of it. Frill Beskard comes running up to you, Buggy. What's going on? What's going on?
We've got the situation under control. There's a worm-filled zombie in the room.
Well, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound at all. He starts trying to shoulder past
I'm afraid
you.
Jane Airport is dead.
Jane? Jane? He pushes past Sessions on the broom, kneels at the body of Jane Airport and starts weeping. I can't believe it. But you can't hear him because he's in the silent spell. More convulsing from the bad guy. Parker on 5, what do you want to do? You're standing over this thing.
Have we killed it yet, the worm?
I thought I'd mashed it up into little pieces.
Yeah.
Is Jane Airport dead?
You don't know, she's just lying there insensible.
Is she making...
I'll do a cure light wound.
It's not your... It's Parker's turn.
I'll go up and do a cure light wounds on her then.
It's Parker's turn. You can't hear any of this, Parker. You're in a silent spell. You've got no idea what's going on with Jane Airport.
Jane Airport.
I know. What would you like to do?
Right, well,
it's
so
Jane
we don't
Airport
really
Terminal.
Need to... Oh,
Sorry, I
no.
was thinking about it.
Sorry. She's on the landing, right?
Well, I'm on standby, ready.
Right, well, I will leave the... So there's no point in doing anything more to this creature if it's incapacitated.
No, maybe you want to check in with the others.
Yeah. First of all, I will move out.
Okay, into the corridor.
Yeah, into the corridor. When I get there, so I assume that I see Jane Airport on the floor.
Yes.
And I'll do a heal on her. Cure wounds. 1d8 plus 2.
You rescue Jane Airport. Uncle Buggy on 5.
I'm going to run out into the run out of the inn.
With a crowded inn, Most of the people in there are either drinking and not interested or looking out through the windows at the race. In the tumult of the race and all the celebrations, you don't think that they've particularly picked up on anything from upstairs. Certainly, they don't look particularly interested in you. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Well, I'll go out of the main entrance. I don't want to run in front of the boars, but...
A frosty day.
Are the boars coming towards us, or are they run past?
Bacross's boar has just shot past the tavern on its way towards the Wolf Fountain, and Dalloway on its way to the lighthouse. You're assuming that would be the finishing point. The other boar is frozen in place in front of the tavern, and its riders are trying to re-energize it. They're all standing in a weird shimmering pattern of colours and moving lights that you have to say, even looking at it now, it's quite weirdly kind of arresting.
Do we have any interest in helping the rival of Bacross? I mean, I could do Dispel Magic.
Well, it might go some way to repair. Are you allowed to assist? Do you remember whether the rules said you could assist from outside?
I don't think we covered it in the rules. Probably frowned upon, you would guess.
Okay, then Is anybody looking at me? Could I do a Dispel Magic without anybody noticing?
The street is packed with people. You're only 3'2" tall and you're standing behind everybody else.
Dispel Magic on it.
Okay, do you want to try and do it in a way that is not noticed, or you
I'd quite like the participants to notice me helping them, but I don't really want the general public to see. I don't know how.
Well, why don't you...
I mean, at the back of the crowd, can I just sort of wave my hand?
I get the general idea.
So see, but people in front can't. Something.
I'll tell you what, I'll make some perception checks for them in a second. Why don't you cast your spell?
If it's 3rd level or lower, it ends, which I think it will be. It's probably just a colour
it does end. Hypnotic pattern.
Obviously, the rage. As a bonus action, I'll switch it off.
Okay. You think that one of the passengers on the boar noticed that you did what you just did?
Okay, I'll do a thumbs up.
They misinterpret the gesture and are disgusted. They kind of acknowledge you, and then the moment that you've done that, of course, the boar snaps out of its state of hypnosis and careers off after Bacross and his boar again. So cheers from the crowd. And we move on to sessions on 21, but we can be out of round sequence now.
We'll search the body. Anything on the Ockrell body?
Doesn't smell very nice.
Yeah.
He's wearing the gear that you last saw him wearing. It was only a week or so ago. He's carrying the sword that he was carrying when you last saw him. Doesn't seem to have really much else on him. He's quite unkempt, he's unshaven. His hair is quite lank and greasy. Doesn't look like he's washed in a while. The body stops spasming steadily over the course of, let's say, a minute or so.
And what was he rummaging through? Or does there seem to be anything of any interest there?
There's a desk and kind of area in the corner of the room.
But he hadn't actually found anything, had he?
Doesn't look like it. He wasn't holding anything when you surprised him. It looked like he was just randomly rummaging, searching through that area.
And nothing in his pockets?
Certainly nothing of yours, and nothing interesting. A couple of coins, bus ticket.
Search the area. Search the desk.
Nothing that wasn't there before. There's that thing, there's a little laminated thing with the Wi-Fi details. Times for breakfast.
Well, I'm just wondering if there's a hidden compartment in the desk or something.
Oh, I see. No, nothing. No, nothing like that. No.
Okay.
So you basically hadn't got anywhere at all.
You get the sense that he was probably just randomly searching somewhere that he thought might yield something. Don't get the sense that he knew something secret about this special hotel room.
Okay. What have we got that he wants?
Maybe it's just in case he got caught.
The question is, who sent him?
Yes.
Should we just get some rest?
I'm just wondering if we can trace. I'm just wondering if we can trace him anyway. I mean, speak with Dead, maybe.
You know where he was staying. Well, you know where you last saw him.
You're losing the Deluxury, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Rachnin's probably there.
Does he have a room?
Well, you don't know, but Alessandra, R.I.P., rest
her soul,
saw Boccaral clandestinely observing you from a top floor window at the Deluxury.
Right.
You asked for him when you went there for lunch yesterday, or rather Buggy did, although Buggy tried, but Buggy couldn't remember his name. So in the end, the staff became suspicious.
I didn't get it that wrong, did I?
You asked for Bockeral, then you asked for Baccaral.
What's his name?
Then you asked for Rachnian. And then they said, is he a guest or is he a friend? And you said, I'm not telling you. I know, or something like that. That's it, brilliant. I can't remember how you ended the conversation, but it was...
Johnny is the best at role-playing, obviously.
That's no bloody use, or something he said at the end. And a member of staff had to approach with a tray with a tiny curtain on it and pull the curtain over the front of you to end the encounter. That was a while ago. Anyway,
marvelous.
You did ask at the desk for Rockeral, and in the end, the sense was that they didn't have that name down, even when you got it right. But you know for certain that Alessandra saw him at an upper story window.
Should we go back to that hotel and search that room?
To where? Go back to
the hotel, because if he was seen in from a room, there's a room which we haven't searched, so we can go back and search a room.
The deluxury?
Yeah.
Sure.
Should we heal up?
Do a long rest.
Or we can do a rest. I vote for a rest.
You've done a long rest already today. You took a long rest after midnight.
But Scaly hasn't done a long rest.
And then you headed out to the boar race, and then you headed out to the island. And it's now lunchtime on the same day.
Jesus. So
yeah, I know. It's only 24 hours since you went for lunch at the deluxury in the first place.
Pack in quite a lot in a day, isn't it? It's quite
Yeah, you do, yeah.
Let's go back.
Well, let's go and search. Should we go and search his room? Should we heal up first?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got bugger all hit points.
I think
I've got
heal
bugger
up
all
would
spells.
be a good idea.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't take a long rest until tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we can do it tomorrow.
Sure. Do you want to hang out in the ogre's hideout for the rest of today?
I've only got 12 hit points.
Do we know? Okay, so do we know that room that we saw him in?
Oh no, you'd have to kind of work it out.
Okay.
You know whereabouts on the outside of the building the window was, so given an opportunity and access, you'd be relatively confident that you might be able to narrow down from the inside where that was. But no, you don't know specifically.
No, but if we went and stood outside, we could basically dimension door up into the room.
Oh, 100%, yes. That seems reasonable.
Do I have a dimension door? I think I do.
Can you dimension door to places you haven't seen?
No, but we can see it.
Yeah. Well, you can
That's
see
my point. If we go down
the inside, though.
I mean, if we can see the window, surely we can specify a spot inside it.
Precisely. Yeah, exactly.
Should we go down there and just search the room? There might be a fight there, I suppose. But
I haven't got too many spells, but I'm not really reliant on spells.
I haven't got a huge amount of spells, but I've got a sixth and a couple of fourth, one of which will be a dimension door.
I've got very few.
I've got 12 hit points.
Yeah, we can do with that.
A short rest.
You can do a short rest.
Use all your dice on a short rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question is whether it's better to wait up or go now.
Are we feeling any time pressure?
Only so Okoro clearly became infected. Whether it was like a different worm, maybe it's a different worm. Semi-intelligent, it seems, or intelligent. So there may be something going on that might
we always
react
do this
to the room. I mean, might interface with the room and remove any evidence. That's what
we always do this.
What?
We always don't heal up because of some kind of unknown pressure. When it takes no effort to actually heal up, it's not as if we've actually got to sit around and wait.
You can take a short rest. You can get pretty much all your hit points back, I would have thought.
But there's other things. There's spells and there's other...
Well, what does everyone feel? I don't feel strongly either way.
I'd like a long rest. I'd like to get all my bits back.
All your bits
Sessions?
back?
I mean, you haven't got
I've got various...
Well, if we go on, I have no useful spells.
Yeah.
But, if
depends if there's anything, we think there's likely to be anything dangerous there.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be as simple as go in, search.
Yeah, it could be.
It's more likely that the expensive hotel is more protected, isn't it? Or warded, you would think.
Yeah.
Than the one we're currently in.
That's a good
We could
point.
do some non-combat sort of literally we could walk to the hotel and inquire without trying to dimension door into a room that we don't have access to.
Yeah. Fair point.
If it's dimension door, then it's one person you can transport. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could.
I was just thinking
you
one of
could
us
do it
could,
and an Uncle Buggy or something.
One of us could pretend to be a waiter, but then Who do you pick? You've got a guy with green head. You've got a guy with white glowing eyes, a weird-looking hobbit, strange-looking barbarian, and a scaly dragon.
Well, it's going to be Sessions, isn't it? Sessions and Bugraft are the most normal looking.
Which says a lot.
Which says a lot.
I don't know, a mini Leo Sayer or a sort of slightly creepy guy with a top hat.
Leo Sayer or Jimmy Cranky? Which one do you want?
I think it's more Paul Daniels.
Well, my vote is for a full rest, a long rest.
What do you want to do, chaps? What do you want to do?
We don't know. We're going to rest.
Take a long rest.
You're going to wait through till midnight.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you're going to sleep the sleep of the just. And you're going to wake up refreshed on what? The 14th of Fart. Refreshed, you can push the long rest button, all your spells back, all your hit points back. You're being comped the room now.
Are we?
You could see that Frill Beskard was kind of making calculations. I think he's kind of finally settled down on the idea that it wasn't your doing. Staff clear away the slurping remnants of Okkeral and his wormy pilot. And some cleaning up is done. They fixed the lock on your door. Jane Airport is extremely grateful.
Okay.
And he's comping you the room, certainly for the next couple of nights. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sustain that all the way through to the party, but I think it's a gesture.
Yeah, it's very kind.
Thank you very much.
Just try not to have your room occupied by any possessed members of the undead, if you could, between now and check out.
Your fine wine up to the room later, please.
Don't push it. Short pants.
Short arse.
Worth a try.
Right.
Now,
let me roll a d6. 1 to 3 better, 4 to 6 worse. 4 to 6 worse. Weather closes in a bit. When you wake up in the morning, the skies are dark and it's full on snowing.
Nice.
So how many days now till the party? Basically 1 day further than the last time I asked, isn't it, really?
Lucas? Yes.
So I would guess another 5 days.
You got Moon Day, Tonch, Weekday, Thump Day, Sunday.
Thump Day is when our magic
and
is
then it's
ready,
Asthma Day and the party. You don't know when your magic is ready. You haven't travelled to Evenstar yet.
Haven't we?
No.
Oh, I thought you said it was...
You said that you were going to...
I mean, we've done the whole...
You were going to...
discussion about it. But, yeah.
You had a long discussion about whether or not you were going to teleport to Evenstar and try and sort out your magic, or visit the... that's brilliant. Or visit the island. And you decided to visit the island.
Okay, well, we'll teleport to Evenstar.
Yeah, we'll go and do the magic thing.
Okay, so that's the
do you want to hand wave that, or do you want to play it all the way through?
Well,
are we going to stay in Evenstar, or?
Well, let's just see what happens, shall we? Where are you teleporting to in Evenstar?
I'm not going, but...
Okay, well, we'll worry about
We'll come
the Magic Emporium.
It's the casino, isn't it?
Yeah, on the paths of probability, there are multiple casinos. There's Squeezer's Palace.
Or where we went the last time.
There's
Squeezer's.
Oh, God.
There's the Fellatio.
No, don't do that.
there's the Dice of Desire Casino and Pleasure House. Taking bookings through Apeshit and Mage.
I think that's the one we have
There's
to go
all these different gambling houses that run along this street in Lyard, the district where they are. You got to pick one, but you got to be familiar, or you need an object. You know what? I'm going to roll a dice. On a 1 to 3, one of you, I'm guessing Sessions, has got a chip from one of the casinos in his possession. 3. Yes, there you go. That makes life easy. Sessions produces a chip from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dice and Desire Casino and Pleasure House. Now taking bookings through Apeshit and Mage. He must have picked it up when he was gambling when you were
last time.
Yeah.
Because we've already been to one of the casinos and done
You've been to multiple.
Purchase.
You've run the gauntlet of the casinos. The market for magical items runs across all of the casinos. Yeah. They launder all the proceeds through the tables.
Yeah.
That chip is enough for you to teleport. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, that's what we're doing, Mike.
Okay. Scaly doesn't come with you. Is that right?
Why?
No, Scaly's off.
Why?
Staying in Frostring. He's going to try and track down...
try and work out how his character works.
Scaly's staying in his room looking through his character sheet. Yeah.
Well, he's actually spent quite a lot today doing that. He's going to try and track down Rabbadabradas.
Okay. And you chaps all appear in one of the card rooms downstairs at the Dice of Desire, causing a bit of a kerfuffle. The moment that you appear at the back of the room, off to one side, you notice that one of the staff takes a sharp interest in your sudden arrival, darts through the door into the rest of the building. Why are they so interested in you? What's going on here? Well, we'll find out when we pick things up next week.
I've only got one teleport, so we're going to have to wait overnight. I'm going to have to stay here.
Oh, what? Now he tells us.
How many did you think I had? It's a 7th level spell.
I don't know.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Prince of Red Hand and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Prince of Red Hand was written by Richard Pett. Music is from Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.
At last, I have reached the tallest peak in all the world, where the wisest person lives. Finally, I'll get the answers I seek.
Welcome. I am the wisest person in the world. Ask me your question.
What is my purpose in life? What should I be doing to achieve pure happiness?
You must stream Game Master Monday.
Come again.
Game Master Monday, the bi-weekly podcast that plays a new one-shot in a new system in a new setting with a new cast every episode. Listening to their funny jokes and wild stories is the only path to happiness, my child.
Sick! I'm going to go home and binge the whole thing right now.
What a nice kid. Oh dear, he fell off the mountain. Now they'll never know how good Game Master Monday is.